some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
Say, they got a penalty here, there'll be fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! This is Vernon! Vernon scored! The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.
Bruce isn't here yet. I'm talking while I'm on mute. It is good to go.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know why we're doing a background bit, but we are. Evening, everybody. Welcome to the DM35 podcast. We're going to start from the beginning. No chat shit, because we are responsible adults and we've got 2 games to get through. And
Here he is. I don't know if it's just me that can't really hear you with that music on, to be honest.
It's just you.
Right.
Everybody else can hear me fine. And a man who doesn't understand what being on time is, Mr. Bruce is here. Well done, Bruce. How you
Sorry,
doing?
I'm late. No, it was Maisie's fault.
I'm sure it was.
I went to sit down. I came to sit down in the office, and there was some gooey stuff all over the desk, and one of them squishy things. It had exploded. It was like, what are you doing? This is my space. This is my space. You keep out of it.
Lovely.
A bit like your broom cupboard in the old house.
I like my broom.
Apart from you didn't have a choice about being in there.
No, this is my space. This is what I have. Anyway, how did you enjoy it yesterday, Bruce?
Yeah, I only thought the second half was good. No, it was.
What happened to the first half?
I only got there at half time. It's a bit like the pod, really.
Why did you get there at half time? I didn't know.
I had a prior arrangement. It was one of them stupid 12:30 kickoffs, wasn't it?
Did you not know the time?
And people have things on. Yeah, I knew the time. Maisie had a game in the morning, and her game was a bit later than normal. It was a 11:15 kickoff, and so yeah, I didn't make it till after the game.
What time does it usually kick off then?
10:30 normally. Plays for 80 minutes now. So with half time, you're an hour and a half. So I would have had time to get down and park up, but I was driving. She was in Humberston, and I sort of ran away from the game quite quickly. It was 0-0, and I got nearly to my house, and because Claire had asked me to drop some stuff off on the way home, they were coming afterwards when they in no rush, and I got to my house listening to Humberside, and we conceded, and I was like, "Oh, do you know what? Sod it! I can't be asked to go down at half time. I'm not going. I'll listen to it on the radio."
This is a lot of a thought process to go through, because those 2 goals, there was not much time spent.
Well, by the time I pulled the car in the drive, we'd equalised, and I was all for it again.
You're up for it, weren't you?
So anyway, I weighed up the pros and cons of driving and parking at our office, which is about halfway down Grimsby Road, about a 10-minute walk. And then I looked, and there was a bus in 5 minutes, and I thought it can get me there for after half time. And I literally just walked up to the ground, and second half was just about to start. So yeah, all good.
There you go.
The game though, second half, obviously I missed the first half, but I concur with everything that everybody else has said, really. I mean, fair play to them. They look like they're going to get promoted, but my God, what a anti-football. It's a shame, isn't it, that anti-football, and I don't mean, and that's no relative of Sam's, but it's a shame that anti-football gets you to the top of the division, because everyone will go, well, I'd take that for a season if we get promoted and we won the title. But God, it was awful.
We did, didn't we? Our most successful season in the last 20 years has been anti-football.
I don't think they had a Michael Reddy, mate. I think Michael Reddy, Andy Parkinson. I mean, they didn't have anybody.
I'm not having Andy Parkinson spoken in the same breath as Michael Reddy.
They didn't have. Their centre forward did not play like Gary Jones. It was
he wasn't their number one, was he? They're Michael Cheek, isn't it? He wasn't playing, so
yeah, true. Michael Cheeks have been around the block, and he's a good goal scorer. He's a good
I think
player.
the argument stands, doesn't it? That's probably the least aesthetic. Well, apart from probably 2008 to 2011, that we've ever looked, isn't it? Under Slade, or did you find it exciting at the time?
Oh, well, we've had bad since, haven't we? No, if you remember the Slade era, it was difficult because we'd come off the back of back-to-back relegate. His first season, we'd been in the Championship 2 years earlier, and those back-to-back relegations, the relegated before the end of the season when we lost to Walsall, and then the defeat at Tranmere in the season after with Nicky Law in charge, and we'd already got a group of half the team was made up of players that just didn't give a monkeys about town, and it was. So I don't think the Russell Slade, even the promotion push. I can remember a few games. I remember going to Cheltenham on a Friday night when we won 3-0 and absolutely tore them apart. But I look back now at the highlights that I share, and there's not. It just didn't. It didn't feel it at the time, and I think, like I say, it was because of where we'd come from. But it was direct, wasn't it? But
yeah,
we played some good stuff, and we saw some. Newey, Toner, they were footballers. They could play. They didn't just do.
I quite enjoyed the Slade era. I think it was direct, but I think it had a bit of a purpose, and it wasn't just stop them playing football, which is slightly different. It was long to Gary Jones onto Ready, but it got you lots of entries into like the final third in the box, and as a football fan, you like watching that. So I can get a lot of people that saw a lot better stuff than I have over the years for Town wouldn't have liked it, but I thought it was all right.
I'm sure Bromley fans are not complaining.
No, exactly. That's what I say. Unfortunately, they're the ones that will be laughing at the end of the season, aren't they? By the looks of it, because they'd have to have they'd probably have to do a double Walsall in terms of failure, wouldn't they? So between now and the end of the season to cock this one up. I mean, they're 5 points clear, I think, aren't they?
Do you think they'll ever sack the Walsall manager, or at least just keep him for the first 4 months of the season and then get rid?
They should send him on like gardening leave, shouldn't they, after Christmas? And just bring in the youth team manager, and then welcome back, son.
They talk about these days having starters and finishers. I never thought I'd see the day that migrated to managers. Right, so we'll have Matt Sadler for the first half season, and then we'll bring Andy Woodman in for the second half.
Not as Forest have got middlers.
they got middle order batsmen.
We don't even know. We've got a middler. We've got a middler now that doesn't know whether he's a middler or an ender.
Well, we've all been there.
But yeah, no, it was. I thought we stood up to it quite well, though. The half that I saw.
Good. I'm glad.
But yeah, after about 5 minutes, I said to the people that sit near me, I was like, "What's the roundup of the first half then? Refs crap."
Can I just point something out to you? Tierney's just messaged me saying you've left your dildo on the bed. It's an airbrush.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Mike's dildo. Hang on, sorry, Mike.
It's a hairbrush.
Yeah, but what about the other end?
That's what you hold the hairbrush in your dick.
And who's messaged you to say that?
Tierney. He said you've left your dildo on the bed, Mike.
His dildo. Come on, Tierney.
Yeah.
Can't be. We know what it's like listening to people talk about stats all day.
I can't believe that she actually watched the podcast. I'd be like, you'd be like, right, I've got an hour and a quarter without Mike. What can I do? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll watch Mike.
Finley watches it.
Oh, he's got his own room. He's got his own room. I'll tell you what, Claire would be down. Claire would have some program on the telly that I didn't like before I could even get out of the room.
Oh, what would it be, Bruce?
She watches. I can't even. That Married at First Sight. Oh my god!
Oh, I love Married at First Sight. The Australian version.
No, it's all this. Oh no, it's all this non-celebrity stuff that's absolute talentless people that are doing really well for themselves.
Yeah, give Bruce Tom Newey any day of the week.
You started off, Alex, with massive ambitions, and you laid them out really early. Right, we're professionals. We've got a lot to get on. We're not going to talk about shit. Within 2 minutes of Bruce joining, we went off piece.
Tangent.
And now we're talking about Married at First Sight.
I loved Married at First Sight. There was a woman on it on the Australian one. It's the Australian one you want to watch. And there was a woman, oh God, she was an awful person. She was terrible. What was her name? I'm pretending to not know when I know it's Olivia.
You've watched the Australian one and the English one.
No, the English one was set near where I lived. They had it all in like the little fancy castle up at the top of the hill in Farnham. And then there's George. George, he was on it. He goes to David Lloyd in Farnham. Catch him in the what is it? The Wheat Sheaf.
I liked his second film, The Revenge.
Yeah. Very good. Well, do you want to start with tell us about the 90 minutes of football you did see? Grimsby Town 3, Salford 1. Would you actually like to Mike, would you prefer to start it with
I think Mike can start because I've forgotten about that already.
That's why we can never do a podcast any later than the day after, because Bruce would have no idea what happened.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I've seen a game and a half since then. I need to. Yeah.
No. So
didn't they get somebody sent off?
No.
Oh, okay.
So Tuesday, I thought was a really good game. I don't think we were at it massively. I think it was a little bit slow and lethargic. But what we were was absolutely clinical. And how many times have we spoken this season about having a gluttony of chances and just not taking them and scoring goals? And on Tuesday, we got three chances within 10 minutes, and we're 3-0 up. And going in at half time, that's pretty much game over without a capitulation. But I think, as I say, we weren't completely at it, but I don't think we were bad at all. I think we were very solid defensively, and we stopped them playing quite well. It was good to see Sunsup Bell get the reward for some really good form that I think goes unnoticed. So it was nice to see him get a goal. And Charles Vernham again, he's got to be the best wide player in this division. If there's a better one, I've not seen them, especially when he's on form. Just absolutely brilliant. And yeah, 3-0 at half time, and really backing up that fantastic performance on Saturday. One thing I was sort of really impressed was the second goal. I think again I bored you guys to pieces with it, but I just thought it was a very good example of doing very simple things but very well. So we break with the ball, and Charles Vernham's got the ball on the left, and there's a couple of defenders between him and the middle of the park and up the pitch, and Evan Corey puts an absolutely lung busting run in to get up the pitch and bring everybody away. It allows Charles to get inside, plays it out to Green. Rogers comes on the outside, takes the man away, ball into the box. It's simple, but it's just executed so well, and it's really good to see that, especially when we weren't on our complete sort of front foot best. We were still executing those absolute basics right. Yeah.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm glad. As long as I've got you grinning, I'm very happy with myself.
I remember the game now. Now Mike's talked about those 3 goals in 9 minutes.
Oh,
no,
good.
it was like I think Mike's sort of summed it up really. I thought we were sort of solid, but we didn't do anything going forward for the first 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, or half an hour probably, wasn't it? And then it was one of those periods in a game that we don't seem to have very often, and you're like, bloody hell, you sat there looking at the person next to you, and you're like, have we just scored 3 goals in 9 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever that was? And it's like you look at the scoreboard and you're 3-0 up, and you don't feel like you've done anything in the game. But we took our chances, which we've talked about many a time, haven't we? Of not taking our chances, and we probably didn't have that many more chances in the game. But a little bit nervy after half time. They were always going to come out and have a go, and they scored relatively early. And then I think after they scored, we actually saw it out quite well. I think in both games, keeper's been excellent. He's been really good, and I just think McJanet's back to his best. I know I talk about him a lot. I just think he's an excellent defender and a leader of men at the back. He's very much a peak Luke Waterfall at the top of his powers. There's not many balls come into our box that we don't win the header. Not many, and that's not just him, but he leads by example. And corners and set pieces generally, there'll be, it looks and you're like, that's a dangerous ball, and it's away and it's gone. But yeah, no, we were solid after that, and we saw the game out relatively comfortably. And when we got to about the 94th minute, I was quite confident we wouldn't lose.
Good. I'm glad to hear your confidence is in there. Do we want to hear how their halftime team talk went?
If you want, I'm not.
Biggest head loss of the week.
3-6!
Biggest head loss of the week.
There we go.
I just don't understand why their whole thunder. I don't know if we've said it on here or we've said it to people that sit near me, but their whole thunder has been stolen by Wrexham. The whole Salford story, the BBC, ITV, Sky loving, it's just dead.
They've
got 1,500 fans at home. Who is really bothered or interested, apart from you, when we've beaten them, in watching a video of what the manager? If I was a player, this is very much Married at First Sight for football. This is like that modern rubbish that you get on the telly. No, I don't understand who enjoys it. I really don't.
Is it not good to see him lose his shit? I don't.
No, I've no interest.
Who's the guy at Wrexham?
Parkinson.
Phil Parkinson.
Oh, it's amazing how quickly the wall falls from everyone's eyes, because everyone must have watched that last episode of us tanking them.
They wanted him out, didn't they? Wanted him gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's doing very well for a man who's got unlimited resources and a massive, a massive pull to play for the football club. I think even Nicky Law could do a half decent job at Wrexham, but it's you've got all this, and all he's doing is shouting, going, "We want it more." They're shit. This basic Sunday League crap, and that's exactly what. Apart from actually that guy, who's the Salford's managers? Do I even need to remember his name? I assume we'd be gone in a week.
Robinson, isn't it? Carl Robinson.
He's just. I don't know about you, Mike. You're the technical guy, but yeah. I'm listening to it. I'm going, I don't understand any of this. Do they not talk during the week? Do they not have like a little powwow about how they're going to address the game and how they're going to play it? It just seems to be technical.
Well, I'd imagine so.
Fine line between the two.
I'd imagine so. I always get the feeling with Carl Robinson that from the bits I've seen, like he made some sense with what he was saying to me anyway. But it's just always overshadowed by the emotion. That little clip you've just shown of losing his head. And that's one of the things I get the sense Artel's good at, is taking that emotion out of it and getting messages across. So what they changed on Tuesday, dropping two back a bit deeper and trying to get an overload further up the pitch, that worked. It worked. They came onto us for the first 15 minutes. We didn't really know what to do too much, and they got a goal. But when you're just throwing it in with that sort of emotion, I just can't see how you can communicate your message across. He always looks like he's just always the same. It's like he's one rant away from a Connery.
A Connery?
I don't understand it. Yeah, heart attack. Is that what they call it? Some of them.
Yeah, he's going to be. He's 1 minute away from being James Bond.
It's the omnibus on a Sunday, isn't it?
Oh, basics. Yeah, so because what they did at half time did stop us for a bit, and they nicked one, and you're like, game on. But then we sort of worked out calmly and got on with it. At one point, I was just looking at my phone. Then what I'd made a note to myself about is I think Tory was really good on Tuesday, and I know I sing his praises, but I think he's come on leaps and bounds the last couple of months. I'm not sure how often you'd be able to say, well, George McEachran's only going to play a handful of 14 games, and you'd think, oh dear, we're in a bit of trouble, but we've not been. And I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And I think the difference on Tuesday for the rest of the season is we didn't play well but won, and in other games we played well and lost. And I think that's the difference between up to December and after December. We're finding a way just to make sure we do enough to win games where we're not at it.
It's been an intense week, though, hasn't it? Notts County away, Salford at home, and then Bromley at home. It's been an intense week. If you'd have said before the start of the week we get 7 points from 9, I think we'd have all been well happy. I was concerned it could be the end of the season if it went wrong.
Well, it certainly could be, and there's a couple of things to look at. We can always talk about who's coming up, but it is a tough week. I thought we played pretty well. I think the fact that we've got quite a good strong, strength in depth really helps us. He can make changes, and I think everybody looks at that bench and goes, actually, we can do something with it. And it's a good thing to do. Salford have always been a team that we've tended to struggle with at times, and it's nice to get that sort of monkey on its back. And I know it doesn't necessarily mean much, but it tends to be a narrative in some way or other, and it's nice to start to pull that away. I thought we performed pretty well. Salford had their opportunities, but ultimately, I think we always had another gear that we could have gone into during the evening, and I think that's quite good to come to. One thing I would like to talk about though is with Mike.
What?
You went like that. You're putting up a finger like.
There was something before you moved on. So carry on.
Go on. No, go on.
I was just Stephen McDade said there about some managers can be very effective and infectious with emotion, and that is true. Yes, the point I'm making is I've seen a lot of these clips of Carl Robinson, and I just think it loses effect because I think he always does it. I don't think it is that. I think if you do it all the bloody time, it loses its effect, which is the point I'm making.
Return.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I think we need to get out of this league is just look at the games we've got coming up at home, and we've had Salford, Bromley, we've got Harrogate, we've got Fleetwood, we've got Barrow. I can't imagine if we add all of that away end into one number, I would be surprised if it gets over 600. And that's one of the reasons why we need to get out of this league.
I think our attendance is up by 300 this season, but you're quite right. There's been some shocking away attendances, as you
138.
Did you see? Sorry.
No, go on, Bruce.
Did you see the difference between Tuesday and Saturday?
Yeah, it was
5. Was it 5-1 to 6-7?
Screen. I have kindly provided it for you, and I have also not included the away attendance because I know it angers you. But then again, it is on your phone, so I imagine it's
it's all. That's all good now. Kev does not even mention the away fans anymore. I've seen people applauding it on social media, not knowing that I was responsible, but I know inside that it was me.
Something inside so strong.
I know inside, something inside me is so strong, and they just can't be doing with my moaning anymore. So Kev doesn't mention it.
Yeah, well,
they'll be doing reserve football next, Bruce.
Kev, if we give you 50 quid every game, cash in hand, can you make a big song and dance about the away attendance? It'd be really appreciated. It'd be coming out of Bruce's winnings.
Hey, we'd have gone bust, wouldn't we, at Notts County if Jason and Andrew had tried what the chairman did yesterday from Bromley.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? It's a nice idea, but we've all bought a round.
Change from a tenner.
I don't need it. I didn't get sort of a well wishing of 3,000 likes on Twitter for buying 11 people a drink. 138 from a team that are top of the league, and Bromley are doing fantastically. Who gives a shit? They are the non-league final boss. You need to get through their set pieces and their launching, but it's a depressing thing when they only bring 137. It's a shame.
Can I just comment as well? Because Mike mentioned it when I went down midweek and sent him a photo of the pitch. Can we I think we should give a bit of kudos to the ground staff for the work that they've done, because Mike, literally, I thought you were joking at first, did not believe when I sent you a picture on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever the game was, of the pitch. You didn't think it was a current picture, did you?
No, I said there's no way that's now, which is a compliment. I was just shocked at how well it had recovered. So well done.
It's not like Roy Keane, but it's your job.
No, I think they've done really well because they get slated when it's not good enough, and I don't think it's been their fault with the. I'm sure he said we've had double the rainfall we expect in February. I might be wrong with that when I saw him at Notts County. So I think well done.
We've had 3 games this season under absolutely torrential conditions. Aki, Wolves, and Man United's second half was terrible rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we had the monster trucks on there Monday as well. Don't forget that.
Did we?
So he did really well to get it ready for midweek.
Yeah, it's well, I'm
I
glad.
think that's a bit of a joke, isn't it? I was very surprised that Bromley didn't sell out. No, I'm only messing, but Bromley are tin pot, aren't they? They're non-league really. I mean, their home crowds are good, but don't you find that clubs like that, Forest Greens, your Bromleys, your Salfords, clubs like that, they might get a reasonable home crowd now, because I think Bromley are in the 5,000s now, and they keep tweeting, don't they? It's their biggest crowd and all this sort of thing, which is brilliant. They've grown the club. Their club's grown naturally, so that's commendable. But they don't know how to travel.
But
These clubs are used. Sorry, go on.
I think what you'll find, Bruce, is a lot of those will be Palace fans or West Ham fans or other London fans who have gone, we don't have a game at home this week. I'll go down and watch Bromley.
Salford get, what do they get at home? Do they not? They don't get that many though, do they? They don't get that many.
About 3.
We will find out.
Salford brought about 60, didn't they? Salford didn't Salford bring like 60 or 70?
Something like that.
I mean, that's for a team that's pushing that. I mean, that just sums up the Salford story, doesn't it? They're just a regionalised. They're probably complaining that they're not playing in North Manchester now, or in the Oldham League or something. It's travelling to Grimsby, 62. Thank you. 62 away fans.
Salford average 2,930.
That's a pretty poor reflection then. What do we take? 20%? No, hang on. Yeah, we can easily take 20% of our home gates, can't we? And that's poor, isn't it? 62. It's about 4%. I don't know what it is, but it's not good.
Their attendances are lower than Harrogate's, Crawley's, and Bromley's. By quite a way.
And you just can't manufacture. It's like Forest Green, isn't it? It's just not a sustainable league club if you take out the ownership.
And this is the thing, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with teams buying the leagues. Everyone has bought the league, whether it be Arsenal in the 30s and 20s, whether it be Man United in the 90s, Liverpool in the 80s. Everyone has bought the league. Blackburn in 95. And it's the same in the lower leagues. Fulham in the 90s, Bruce. How much were we all cursing them when
they're a club that's got tradition and that's got history, that's got a fan base. The clubs that you're talking about have got fan bases. I think it's different. I think they'll come and sell out you if they're at the top of the league. They'll come and sell out your away end. That if Bromley come, which we saw yesterday, 150 or 125 or whatever it was, Salford going in the playoffs, 60, 70. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. This is why we need to get out of this division, because there are less of them further up the pyramid.
30 of the 60 from Salford were comp tickets as well.
I do see what you're saying, but my thought process on it is every sort of town deserves a club, and if somebody wants to put their money into it, everybody was a shit little club at some point. If you go back far enough, everybody was just newly formed or newly joined. I mean, I think Salford in particular maybe a bigger example of it, but I don't think Bromley particularly have tons of money poured into them by people.
No, we didn't say that, did we? We didn't say Bromley had. I said they've done well to get where they've got to, but their fans are not used to travelling outside of London for games, and you two have made a good point that they're probably not actually uniquely their fans.
No, I don't think they are.
But in 20, 30 years, they could be, because the club's grown, and then it grows a fan base along with it. So,
yeah, maybe. I might not be around to see that, but yeah.
It's really interesting to see as well the change in the economic circumstance in the country and how that reflects into football. The old powerhouses of the north have sort of slowly diminished, whether it be like the Sheffield clubs and the like. And now you're seeing the birth of smaller clubs down south, where they've become commuter towns, like Stevenage, like Crawley, and then you've got Bromley as well, and other clubs around that sort of ilk. I mean, I think Reading have grown in a bit of size as well. As a result, you get all these sort of commuter town clubs just getting slightly bigger.
Don't you think though that there's two things that they gain from the clubs in London are obviously people with money from overseas that live in London that want to buy a football club. They can't buy Arsenal, they can't buy Tottenham, they can't buy Chelsea, they can't buy. So they go to Brentford or they go to Fulham or they go to and sadly it'll probably carry on that way with the investment that you're talking about.
Yeah, I've always been surprised that Millwall haven't been bought because they're the most centrally located London club out of the lot of them.
I drove over Tower Bridge to get to Millwall. That's how central they are.
There you are.
I've said for a while, you see the amount of money going into the Premier League. There's no clubs really left for it to go into anymore. You're going to get a time where you're going to get Championship and League One clubs, and maybe even further.
Well, you're already having it, aren't you?
It's going to get worse. It's going to get to a stage where good teams in the Premier League are just going to keep going down because
KSI's bought Dagenham and Redbridge this week?
Has he?
Yeah.
Or Dagenham.
And then there's others as well. Who did Snoop Dogg buy a bit in?
Swansea.
Swansea. There you go. Always fun. What American celebrity do you want buying a large swathe of our club, Bruce? I don't know if I want to ask this.
I reckon we should have Sylvester Stallone and...
He's an Everton fan, isn't he?
I don't care. You just asked a celebrity. What famous celebrity Grimsby fan is there?
Tommy Turkus. He's going to have
Norris American, you said.
Norris from Coro. What about Freddie Frinton, the guy who does the Dinner for One, that big German TV show they all like?
I'll tell you what, though, right? That Swansea thing... It's going back. This celebrity thing is going back to your Married at First Sight and all that crap telly. I've made a new thing, right? Since Youngie said that when I wasn't on the pod the other week, right, that I've let my son watch it because Bruce swears too much and he's not on tonight, right? I'm making a concerted effort, but it's very difficult when you're talking about rubbish like the celebrity culture that there is these days. That we're absolutely talentless people, but why? Right? He might be a good rapper or whatever he does, singer. But would you two wave a white scarf and spin it round your heads if he walked past you on the pitch? And would you do that? Oh, we've got this guy. He wants all these towels, because that's what they do in America. And you've got to wave it round your head when he walks past. No, that's not English football culture.
I'd imagine there may be a haze of some intoxicants that may make you do that as he walks past.
You are listening to Old Man Shouts at Clouds.
Without swearing.
Should we do the Bromley game?
I do feel like I am getting like that bloke off Up.
What do you mean getting?
I'm always looking back, aren't I? I need to look to the future. I need to stop doing all the stuff that I do, look into the good old days of town, because we ain't getting back to the Championship.
Well, at least one club in Lincolnshire is.
It's because you've got more to look back on than you've got to look into forward, mate. So that's probably why you're doing it.
I know, but right. I know we've got football to talk about, right? Can you stop that rubbish, please? Turn that off.
No, we've got an hour to do before we turn.
Right, there was a debate on social media today, a small debate, admittedly, but about the stewarding in the pontoon. And is it overzealous? This is our tune. I don't love the stewarding. When I were a boy, no, but
if you rewind that, you can pinpoint the moment you probably.
But the fun that you used to have, the fun that you used to be able to have in the pontoon back in the day, it was so much better than what they get now.
It was the guy that used to climb up the rafters.
Nutter.
Yeah.
He's going up. You're not.
Yeah, he's falling down. Get the ambulance.
God knows what he was on, but we had a laugh. Oh, it's just fun sapping, isn't it?
Bruce, you have touched on something, and then after this, we'll talk about the Bromley game. Anything else anybody wants to add about Salford? Very impressive performance. We've got their number. Much appreciated. That about it?
Yeah.
Bruce, you've touched on something. Pete has rightly complained, and we've talked ad nauseum about the atmosphere at Blundell Park, and so has David Artell, saying that the game against Salford, it was just flat. Matt Dean was talking about it on the radio during the game yesterday. The atmosphere is shit, but it is not helped by pretty over-officious, moronic stewarding. Is that probably the best way of putting it, Bruce?
I can't speak for the steward in the pontoon because I don't sit down there. I mean, they do spring up from the benches when Town have an attack or we look like we're going to score, and they'll come sort of piling in front of us like we're going to go on the pitch. And most of the people in the lower wouldn't even be able to get over the fence if there was an emergency. So I don't know why, why they do look like they just can't wait for a bit of excitement. But you just see the pictures, don't you, of them in the pontoon, and there's 15 or 20 young lads, and there's 5 or 6 stewards, and I don't know the story. I don't, and somebody will probably say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're out of order." And if we are, then right. But let them have a bit of fun. If they're not doing anything illegal, let them have a bit of fun, because football needs a bit of edge, and you can't sanitize it completely. We don't have a lot of problems with stewards in the lower. Like I say, apart from the ones in front of us, we don't see a steward in the stand. And people are allowed to stand up, if the guy, and people are pretty good. If there's somebody, if I see somebody behind me and that sat down and I'm stood up, then I'll sort of might have a think about it, and then you take your seat again. But at that side of the ground, of the the left hand side of the pontoon, if you're in there and you don't want to stand up and you don't want to sing, you shouldn't be there. It's not the area that should be. I know it's probably too late and that's probably gone, and we've talked about the Osman and stuff, but you need to be, when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 20 probably,
40.
You need to be able to go with your mates to the game, look forward to it on a Saturday, and have a bounce, have a laugh, jump around, whatever, make a noise. Don't stop them doing it, because you're just going to throttle. You're just going to throttle the atmosphere. I have seen people say, this is contradictory to what I've seen, but saying they let you get away with more in the Osmond. Now someone's telling you now that you've got somebody saying on there that you've got to take your seat. But yeah, I just think, let them enjoy themselves. You remember that away following that we had that was on the edge? Some people would say it was beyond the edge, in sort of 14, 15, 16. Them young lads, and they used to come, and people will say that I shouldn't say it, but they had the flares, and yes, if you were stood next to it, it might make you whatever, but it didn't half create an atmosphere. And away games in particular, I remember being at Altrincham on a Tuesday night, and you've got a bit of haze in the air, and I know you can't do that, but it did make a better atmosphere. But yeah, it's yeah.
Sorry, Mike. You go ahead, my friend.
Look, I agree pretty much with everything Bruce said. One caveat is, I do feel a little bit sorry for the club, because this day and age they will have all sorts of stipulations and requirements they have to meet, and if they don't and they're in breach of it, then they're liable. So if they're not doing it, so I do have some degree of sympathy. But when I was a lad, and I was up there, they used to just have 2 or 3 stewards that were there every single week, that stood at the back, had a chat with you, got to know you, didn't interfere, and if you did something you shouldn't do, came and had a word with you. And that wasn't too long ago. It makes me sound like an old bloke saying in my day, but it wasn't overzealous. They just stood there. You knew them every week. They had a chat with you before, after, and during the game, and it was fine. It just looks a little bit these days, everything is too harshly policed.
And I think, I think the club has been run incredibly well, but it's something
very
we talk about.
Criticism, to be fair,
it's too, yeah, agreed. But given the way our owners have approached things and understand the ethos and want to bring a community together, that side of it, I think they've done quite poorly. And we haven't really had an opportunity to create an atmosphere. There needs to be a group that's separate from the trust, where young lads get together or some people get together and start to organise it, find a place in the ground you can sit in. It would be the Osmond, I'd imagine, and the club need to help facilitate it to try and do that. Stewarding needs to be a bit easier, and I think Mike's absolutely right in its approach. It needs to be personal, it needs to be consistent, and it needs to be understood. You can't really have people in that sort of area. If you want to create an intimidating atmosphere, you also have to create a kind and understanding atmosphere for people, and quiet words for especially young lads, young lasses who are 14, 15 and are doing their first things on their own and are making a foray into adulthood and will occasionally make mistakes. And that's where we as a community and a club can help guide and support. Yes, Bruce.
Somebody said that they dive in the pontoon, and like I say, I'm going to go on a hearsay, but they don't do the same thing with the older non-season ticket holders who buy tickets on the day and are in the Osmond. And also, how often on an away day can you think, when it's usually quite bouncy, that the mascots, that the stewards come into the stand to confront the fans? It doesn't happen.
Hardly.
You've got to be absolutely doing something ridiculous for them to come in. Yet at home games, they're all over our own home fans.
I've got a theory. I think I've maybe expressed this before, but the problem is maybe not the source of the problem, but it's definitely a major contributing factor, is the fact that we have so many season tickets. That is a fantastic thing. Do not get me wrong. But you pack a stand because that you can't, sometimes in the summer, you're struggling to get a seat. So you've got everybody, there's no way you can move people about and people aren't sat together. Now, at an away game, as we've said before, you go and you stand with your mates and you all congregate together. But because of the absolute, how full the stadium is.
The cancer of that, though, at the moment, Mike, the last 4 away games I've been to, someone has come up and gone, "Oh, these are our seats." Fucking not.
No, I think you take the point. Is
yeah, no, I do. Yeah,
we now. Where are you going to go and sit? Because everywhere is.
That's one part of it, and I think the club let everyone down by that because they need to be thinking about that now to facilitate it for next season, which is fill in the cage. Make that family end there, and I would say make that family end corner there where you used to have the Applebee's family stand, the cage, and around to that bit. That should be make a racket, make a noise in that bit. We'll move the disabled for supporters into a half decent facility where they're not getting rained on all the time and flooded, and the pontoon will effectively become a family stand because unless you're going to piss everybody off and go right. This is going to be the pontoon of old. If you don't like it, don't fucking come. You've got a main stand. Go sit in it. You're now 95, Brian. Move over. It's not gonna happen. I can't see the club doing that. So you've got to make a new area, and then you've got to also, make it. You've got to get to a point where you have a group where you can help talk about it. They don't have to be ultras. They just have to be a fan community group. Stockport County have got one. Nottingham Forest have got them. Where there are good atmospheres, they tend to have one. And you need to then help facilitate the stewarding as well. There's a lot of different issues which the club could quite easily address.
Yeah. Oliver Johnson's just made a point that do you think the club want to have a polished image? Maybe the club don't want to have a hostile fan base and atmosphere. Now, I don't think any of us are suggesting that there should be anything illegal going on. Like what we're talking about,
I think people should be selling ket.
It's creating
the foundations of the Osmond.
It's to create a bit of an atmosphere. Now we've talked about this until we're bored of talking about it. But what you've got at the moment is you've got a manager that keeps mentioning it. So if the club don't want it, but the manager does, there's a disconnect there. So if the manager keeps coming out before and after every game and say, "Oh, they did well this week," or we need you this week, and it was a bit flat and stuff, then he's not mentioning that because he's running out of things to say in 10 minutes with Matt Dean. So it's obviously something that he's aware of.
But then you've also got, and this is the thing, is when it is raucous, that tends to be the footage they use.
Yeah.
That tends to be what they want to use and what they want to promote. When you're talking about a hostile image, hostile fan bases are always there. But if, throw a load of flags in there, make a bit of an atmosphere, make a bit of a racket, that's exactly where the club will want it. And, if there's people in there, with a free Tommy Robinson flag up or, telling everyone to be deported or, throwing racial abuse or homophobic or, derogatory sexual abuse out there, then yeah, absolutely kick them out. But there's nothing wrong with calling Addy Woodward.
Do they have to do all those things at once?
all at once, Bruce.
Right.
An
All
Okay.
at once.
atmosphere
proper
doesn't have
TikTok.
to be hostile. It's good when it is in terms of the opposition, but you don't have to have an atmosphere. It doesn't have to be hostile.
But you can't put Andy Woodman in there and not make me call him a fat prick. I mean, you must be on a half decent wage. Just buy your Manjaro. Ask Steve Evans. Where did he get his from?
Well, do you see why he kicked off after the game? They'd run out of pies.
And they really, he was getting, wonder didn't he say something derogatory? Was it to Jays?
No, it was no. That was that was somebody else, wasn't it? A while ago. No, apparently he said something to Maldini. Now Maldini has been at Bromley before, and as I think we're all quickly coming to learn, Maldini likes to involve himself in a lot of things.
Love him. I love him.
I'm here for it. Fucking love him.
He's going to become my favourite within about 6 months.
Doug, you're under threat, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said something. I mean, he was on Twitter because that's what he's like. Because I mean, as much as a pantomime villain, I actually quite like Andy Woodman. I think he seems like a decent bloke. But he's definitely said something that's kicked off. But he was on Twitter yesterday saying, "Oh, I didn't say anything." Right.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound great.
I don't know if I told you. Can you when he first signed, they did an interview with David Artell about 3 or 4 days after Maldini signed, and he was asked about it. And he said, "Well, he's not going to start now because he needs to learn how we play, and we need to learn about him." He said, "But I think the lads have learned that he's quite competitive." And I just thought to myself, he's absolutely gone through somebody in training, hasn't he? He's absolutely first day smash.
Wasn't that there's an Arsenal story about that? I think it's Paul Merson talks about it, and I think it's Abba Diaby.
Yeah.
And within his first tackle, he goes through the back of Dennis Bergkamp. He goes hobbling off, and then 2 minutes later, he goes trying to slide through somebody else and takes out Wenger. It's just very good. I'm looking forward to it.
Do we need to bring back George Santos just for this sort of occasion?
Yeah, and Ludwig Omen.
Does that lead us on nicely to the actual game? 47.
Oh yeah, go on then, Mike. It's 47 minutes. You go.
Right. Let's tie it up. Anything else you want to say about the atmosphere? Bruce, you are there every week. What do you think would work?
Right, can I just go? You made a bit of a sweeping statement and said that it was shit again yesterday, and it.
Oh, I
I don't think.
I thought you said it wasn't very good. I thought you said it wasn't very good. No, it was flat on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was.
Salford was the one.
I apologise, but yeah, yesterday somebody commented on the chat and it's disappeared. But yesterday it was it was better. It was better. It wasn't brilliant, but it was better. The loudest part of the ground when it gets going is still the upper, and that's because that's where the middle-aged lads that used to go in the pontoon, that's where they've retired to. And it's you get, but they're congregating together. They're congregating together, which other parts of the ground, as we've talked about, are not. It's people with a common interest, that want to support the team through vocally, that sit up there. I'm certainly thinking of going back up there from the lower, because I've said before, the lower I find it patchy. It's a bit difficult because you want to sing, guy next to you doesn't, the one in front of you does, the one behind you, but. I'm certainly thinking of going up there because when it gets going, it sounds really good.
Do you think we should ask the club to open the cage? Let's put some seats in the cage. We will buy 5 season tickets and then we'll start it there in the corner.
Oh, I thought you were talking about moving the non-singers in there.
No, we're gonna move in there. We're gonna be in the cage. That's a great name for a part of the ground. Let's get in the cage.
There's not a lot of room in there. I don't think. I think if they could have put seats in there before, they would have done. Yeah, that's a good shout. Make the lower safe standing.
Everything should be safe standing apart from the main stand and the upper. Everything should be safe standing.
Yeah, that's going to cost money though, isn't it?
Well, just we get some welding.
Just let me stand up. We don't need the bar, do we? We don't need the railing or the distance thing. We'll
only bar you need is behind you.
Yeah.
Right. Grimsby Town 1, Bromley 1. Andy Woodman came and darkened our doorstep once again. Kevin Donovan was wetting his lips. League leaders who have made a whole total of 19 passes over 19 sequences of 10 passes or more all season and are something like 10 points clear. Division 4, Division 4. They came, they saw, they drew 1-1. They took the lead from a relatively fortuitous, came off Kasori straight into the path of Kabamba, and then we equalised immediately. Thoughts, gentlemen? Mike, you saw the whole thing.
Yeah, I was quite pleased we didn't go the way we went down at their place, where we actually matched them up and just tried to beat them at their own game, playing 4 centre backs across the back and what have you. There was I think there was an element of that, but I think we tried to in the main play our way. We succumbed to getting torn into their game a little bit, but that's always going to happen. It's going to happen with them as well. But I thought we stood up really well. I think they've only really had that chance in the first half, pretty much. So dealt with that really well, and then we were lucky to get right back on level terms straight after that. In the second half, I think we were much better. I think we were a bit bitty in the first half. Second half, I think we were much better. Played more of our game better. And actually, for quite a long period of the game, I thought we were really physical and they didn't like it. They weren't, I don't think they were expecting it or used to it. I think there was a few occasions, especially Kieran Green and Harvey Rogers, and obviously Maldini, but that goes without saying, put themselves about a bit, putting themselves in on them. And it looked like it rattled them a little bit. Jackson Smith were 2 fantastic saves to keep us level. That would have been a travesty if they'd nicked something playing that way. But you could see what they wanted to do. They wanted to come frustrate us, slow the game down, play for a set piece, play for a long ball and a knockdown, and they leave one man up top all the time in no matter what circumstances. So they've always got the out ball, and he can compete against 2 centre-halves quite well, whether it's pacing behind or physically. So they know what they are, and they're bloody good at it. I couldn't watch it every week, but there's no law about the right way to play.
I could if we were top of the league.
Yeah, and I think a club that
Bromley will be playing 4-4-2. Makes you proud to be British. 2 great institutions battling it out on a mud patch. That's my what's the new reform, Mike?
I don't know.
What's the new political party?
I don't know. I've completely lost my train.
Restore Britain.
Restore. This is my speech to join Restore Britain. 4-4-2. Get it in the mixer. Win Division 4. It's not complicated. Love it. My England. Go on, Mike. Sorry. I got too excited.
I've forgotten completely. What was the saying?
You were talking about how they played, and you don't like it.
Yeah.
You're a purist.
No, so well, I'm not. I'm not. I don't. The point I'm making is that they know what they are and they do it really well, really effectively. So kudos to them for that. They're brilliant at it. I couldn't watch it every week, but a team of that size in its second season in the EFL altogether is on the verge of going into League One. So I don't think we can get too precious about how other teams play football. That's not for us. You know, we play the way we want to play, and it's up to us to beat them. They're doing what they do, and it's really bloody effective. I couldn't watch it every week, but I tell you what, if I was a Bromley fan, I'd be like, we're about to be in League One if everything goes well. We were knocking around in non-league for I don't know how long. So fair play to them. Fair play. There's no rule about how you play football.
I thought the game was really entertaining yesterday. I thought it was quite fast-paced. I thought it was pretty good. I thought everyone gave as good as they got. I thought I saw Kasuri getting punched on the floor, but someone might need to tell me that because it was on the cameras. Penalty once again. I don't like to see him given, but I'll take it every day of the week. Mike, on the other,
you don't like the rule, but it is the rule.
It's a law, mate. It's not a rule. It's a law.
All right, fucking hell.
Hey, look, if you want to do pedantry, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Can you two cut down on the swearing, please? We've got some families that watch this.
Show your fucking mouth. Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Bruce, you only saw the second half. Did you enjoy it?
It's a long time ago now, but I did cover a little bit of what I thought before we went off on a tangent.
The first game.
Yeah, you remember when I said it was like, non-football and anti-football and all that, and covered all that stuff. I thought it was a competitive game. I thought, as I said earlier, we were indebted at the end to brilliant saves from Jackson Smith. The free kick, I mean, he was stood 2/3 of the way across the goal, and we had a great view of it, and he just flew and plucked it out the top corner. It was an absolute brilliant save. And then the last one, my mate next to me thought they'd hit the post, and he scooped that header off the line. Brilliant saves, and what a difference he's made. But yeah, I saw somebody put Oliver. I can't see the name fully, but I'm guessing it's Oliver. McCracken and Tory worked really well. They did. Obviously, I think they're only gonna have a limited number of games together, but we're gonna have one of them next season if it goes the way we think it will. But I thought we were solid. We didn't create loads of chances. There was the one, I don't know if you remember it, that sort of towards the end we put across the box, sort of in the air, and it just needed somebody to sort of get the body on it and just knock it over the line. And there was two of them coming in at the back post that didn't. Oh, but can we just talk about, there was a really good break, and I don't know if you'll remember it. And Dara Burns went down the left hand side, and it wanted a ball across the box on the floor.
God, yeah.
And he cleared the pontoon roof with a cross nearly. I'm maybe been a little dramatic. It just wanted a ball across the box at pace. Their defenders were running back towards their own goal. It could have gone anywhere, and he lofted it. And I mean, I'm sure he'll be disappointed with it, but that was a really good. I think we were like 4-on-2 or 3-on-2. There were a couple of times we turned the ball over in midfield. This is going to sound like Mike a little bit now, like I know what I'm on about. Turned the ball over. We broke through the lines. And all of a sudden, we had 3 or 4 of our forward attacking Grimsby Town Mariners racing at 2 pivotal central defenders, and we had a couple of great opportunities, and we didn't really make the most of them. That was one of them. Are you saying
that they were a pivot or pivotal?
I don't know, mate.
I think there was also a part in which, and I'm very begrudged to say this to a person who scored 14 goals for us this season, but there was an opportunity where Jays really had the goal begging and should have buried it. And that's a Division 4 striker, I guess.
There was another one where we went down the middle towards the end. I said we didn't have many chances. We went down the middle, and we took an age to decide whether we got to the edge of their box.
8 or their 6, wasn't it?
And somebody wanted the inside right wanted sliding in, and we just sort of stopped, and eventually we got tackled and the ball got turned over. We were a little bit. Yeah, our final ball in what I saw, I would say our final ball perhaps wasn't great quite a lot of the time yesterday.
But we did fall, and this is the only way we can describe it. We fell into the playoff spots somehow. A lot of goals going our way, which have been going our way for quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And Town find ourselves in the playoffs now. My worry is never against the teams above us. I think we'll always give them a game. I think we'll always give a good account of ourselves. Our problem has been beating the Bristol Rovers, beating the Harrogates, and not making a fist of it when we play those. So if we can get into the playoffs, I think we might do all right. I think we might be interesting.
Yeah, we chatted today, didn't we? That there's no team in this division had fear over 2 legs to start with.
Maybe Bristol Rovers.
No, there isn't, because each game. I mean, if you go back through every single game this season, I think other than 3, maybe 4, I don't think some of the defeats we got, I don't think we deserved. So, I mean, the Bristol Rovers game you're talking about after Man United, I think we were all over them, just didn't put it in the net, and they scored an absolute worldie. So there's all sorts of those you can do throughout the season. But yeah, into the playoffs, and if you look at our form, it's absolutely amazing, the form we've had since Christmas.
7th in the table.
And we discussed it, didn't we, after the Bristol Rovers game? We said there's obviously reason to be annoyed after 2 results, but that some of it was going a little bit over the top. And I think what you've had after that is an incredible week, where if somebody after Bristol Rovers said, you're going to have these 3 games, we're going to give you 7 points, we go, thank you very much, we'll take that and we'll go on to the next games. Because I think that's a phenomenal week. And what a difference a week in football makes, because as I say, I can remember some people maybe losing a bit of composure.
I like the way this is going. Sorry, I remember a lot of people. Some people. Well, there were 2 of them. Sorry, Mate.
I was correcting myself. It wasn't a lot. Sometimes
I'm only messing, mate. I'm only messing.
It's the vocal minority, isn't it? But there was definitely some chat I was seeing about it, and I think it just never get too high when you lose, never get too low, don't get too high when you lose, don't get too high when you win, and never get too low when you lose. And I think
especially inside Blundell Park, we're not condoning that.
Yeah, don't get stoned in the
No, but I think you're right, Mike. And I mean what I said earlier. I think if this week had gone wrong, we've picked up 7 points this week. If we'd have had a bad week, we could conceivably have picked up 1 point. I think we'd have been. This could be a pivotal week in the season. And there's that is pivotal, Alex.
I mean,
too pivotal.
I mean, it isn't completely out. It's an outside shot, but it isn't. We're not completely out of the conversation for the top three.
We'd be in 13th if we'd have only got 1 point this week. We'd be 13th. And that's the thing. There are we are on the same points as Chesterfield and Crewe. We've got 1 goal extra on them, which is always great to have. We've never always had a strong goal difference. We're a couple of points away from Salford, who we've got their number 4. We've still got Cambridge to play, so there's still a chance. You never know.
Games in hand.
We've got a game in hand over Swindon above us,
and we've got to play them, so that could be a 6-point swing. So it is an outside shot that I'm not saying we're going up, but we're all thinking about the playoffs. Great, yes, let's get those playoffs because that is progress. And I would back us against anybody in this division in that format. But that conversation isn't quite over. The fat lady isn't singing. She may be warming the vocal cords up, but she hasn't sung yet.
I also just talking about the recent form, that I think was it one of you shared a thing in the pod group about was it last 15 games or something? The form was it 15? Alex, you put on.
Yeah,
our home form has improved. We're unbeaten in the last 8 at home in the league. Won 4 and drawn 4, and it's not a fortress that they used to be years ago, but that's a lot better than we've been doing. I bet it's quite a long time since we've gone 8 games unbeaten at home.
Something like 3 months in it. I was looking the other day. Something like 3 months we haven't lost at home.
Which is I can't remember. It's a long time since we've gone that long without trudging home down Grimsby Road.
What it does frustrate me a little bit, like, and it's difficult to do this, but there's just so many games where you think, that Tranmere game where we should have won it and then we lost it. Barrow where we took 2 in our own net. And you just think, just add 6 points onto our total. Just 5 or 6 points onto our total now would be phenomenal. But you are where you are, and it is what it is. But that's what's always made me quite confident we're a good team, because other than not taking chances and throwing things in our own net over a couple of games, I think we've competed with every single team in this division. 2 or 3 times I've seen us have a
Barnet are the best team I've seen against us, and they're dropping down the table like a stone.
They are.
Funnily enough, that was one of the teams that we just weren't at it. Barnet away and Bristol away, the 2 that particularly come to mind. But then again, they're away games.
Barnet were good though, and they were good at Bundle Park.
Yeah,
they really were.
You couldn't tell they had 10 men.
Who's that?
Barnet had 10 men for more than the
game.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're very right. It was a good performance. It really was.
I don't know if
you sound distracted, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just working stuff out.
Mike's talking, and then about 30. You're like me when Claire says something downstairs. You're like,
yeah, dear. Whatever you say.
I've already finished that conversation.
I don't know if you guys saw this. I think it was this week that it came out that is it Dave Brennan, the Barnet manager, had his ban overturned for when he got sent off at us.
Notts County's ban didn't get overturned though, did it?
No, apparently he said, if you can think back, the 4th official basically sent the wrong player off. And according to the FA report, Dave Brennan said to the 4th official, you've only sent him off because he's black, meaning you've just got the wrong player. And the 4th official thought he was calling him a racist. So if you actually read the report, it is quite, not comical, but it's quite amateur.
But did he also say some pretty derogatory things about women?
Not in that, not then.
No, but in another one, hasn't he? Has he got?
I don't know. Do you know what? Right. I don't really pay much attention.
This is your celebrity stuff again, Alex.
I'm pretty sure he did. Someone please back me up.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered what Woodman said to Maldini. I'm not bothered what goes on down the tunnel. I'm not bothered if someone said a nasty word to someone else. I'm not interested in that. Thanks. I've got a new game for you to try though when we get round to it. I don't know how it's a pilot, this one, because it might not work.
Last thing, well.
I'm not interested. Last thing,
gentlemen, we need to show our appreciation because the GTFC women won the East Midlands Division North League. They're going into the 5th step of football. I think they were there last season. And massive credit to them. They beat Johnsfield 4-1 this afternoon. We haven't given them enough attention this season, and they've done phenomenally well.
No, brilliant. Well done.
First bit of trophy silverware we've had all season. Massive congratulations. And I would imagine they will be at Blundell Park showing the trophy off. So hopefully everyone will be there and give them a massive round of applause, because that's incredible stuff.
No, it's good. Won every game, haven't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, they've won every game. They're going to try. They're going to try and do that through the season, which is that's beyond invincible, isn't it?
It is beyond. Okay, Mike's got some. Well, yeah, and huge well done. Mike got some transfer gossip.
Yeah, congratulate. No, I just saw this as I was quickly perusing. Rep tracker Connor McEnvoy, got about 40,000 followers on Twitter. Journalist. Understand that Blackburn Rovers have been making inquiries about Grimsby Town striker Jays Cabia.
Take him.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Do you want Jack Gilson back? Zach Gilson back?
I think Zach Gilson will be a good player.
I'm glad. I look forward to it.
I think how many million do we want for Cabia? 2?
18.
2?
18. Every goal's $1 million.
Right. Are you ready for a new game?
No.
Don't tell Youngie about this, right? Because if it goes, it might be over really quickly if I get the clues wrong. I did mention.
He's fuming. He's absolutely fuming.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I need to explain the rules clearly because I've been guilty in the past of not explaining the rules clearly enough. Okay. I am going to give you. Oh, my bloody phone battery's going low now. Right. I'm going to give you the names of some Grimsby Town players who were in in our season squad on the back of the programme. Okay.
Okay.
You are to guess. And you may just guess out loud whenever you feel like it. One guess per clue. And you are to tell me the season that this is from. So I will give you a player. If you're not confident to guess on that clue, you don't need to guess. So we can go through the clues.
One guess per clue.
He's doing this.
You can have one guess. You can have one guess. If you guess and you guess incorrectly, you miss out on the next clue.
Okay, fine. That's something you needed to say. Cool.
And you are back. You are so you only go when you're confident, supremely confident of the season. Is that an axe?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Tom Newey. Paul Bolland.
2006, 2007.
Right, you're frozen out of the next clue.
Okay.
Matthew Bird. You're now back in, Alex.
2007, 2008.
You're frozen out of the next clue. Danny Boschel.
2008, 2009.
Is a correct answer.
Yes.
Right. This is the programme from yesterday. Lincoln's squad.
25, 26. Did I win?
No. I wanted to give you some. I did the first two because they were here a bit earlier. But Nick Hegarty would have told you the era, wouldn't it, Danny North? Yeah, I don't think that game's going to go on very long. We'll not tell Youngie about that one. And he doesn't listen, hopefully. So, but I'm just looking at the Lincoln squad.
Yeah, there's a better one, Bruce. You need to just say, right, this year, 09-10, name every player that played for us.
Yeah, you two are a bit. Yeah, you're a bit like that, the Rain Man, aren't you? Right. Yeah, I think you'd be good at that. If I pick the right era, you two would be good at that. I think Sam's a bit. I bet Sam's a bit like that. I bet he used to go to bed at night with a little Grimsby Town notebook with players' names written down under his pillow.
Says the man that has an attic full of old footage and can tell you the result, the scorer, and the starting lineup.
Yeah, and has the most popular.
Yeah, but I need them because we've already established that I've got early onset memory problems. Right. Anyway,
they're not that early.
No.
That is funny but rude. Right. Just very quickly before we go, or before I go, because it's 1 hour, 10 minutes. Right.
Is that the game? Was one round?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've not got another programme to hand. It's just a pilot episode. I'll work on it and come back to you for another week. Right.
Show was longer.
Right, Lincoln. We beat Lincoln. You remember? You must tell me you watched yesterday. We beat Lincoln 5-1, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We beat Lincoln. We were appalling. Right.
Pro.
They had Stephen Oakes, Jeff Horsfield, and then here they also had, right, they were good players probably 5 or 6 years earlier. They were good players. Frank Sinclair they had. They were like the Premier League's. That won't happen now, would it? Even now, this wouldn't happen. These players that had played in the top flight would not be down in League Two in the 30s. But they also had. Would you have known that Anthony Elding played for Lincoln along with Linnell John Lewis?
Yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah.
All right. Ben Wright. That's not. Did we have a Ben Wright? We had somebody right. Ian, Mark. That was Mark Bright, wasn't it? I don't know. Ben Wright. No, Tommy Wright. Didn't we have Tommy Wright?
Yeah, Tommy Wright. He's now a police officer.
Yeah. Oh, they had Scott Kerr as well. Yeah, it's quite interesting looking at these squads. Sam Malarkey. Sam Malarkey. That could be Toby's brother.
You know, you're saying some of these Premier League players that wouldn't drop down to this division in this day and age. You mean like Charlie Austin did,
or McGoldrick,
or Will Grigg, like those
or Ryan Bennett.
Right. Anyway, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
You won't get 3 of them in a squad, I don't think. Right. I think we need to go. Can I go?
What are we calling it before I go? Because I end up standing there having to think of something. What are we calling the show?
Why are you standing there?
Because that's how I edit. I'm on the move. I'm fast paced. I'm a dynamo.
Standing is not moving. It's stationary, Alex. You can't just say I've been exercising and you've just been stood there.
Thank you, David. We'll go with yours. Very much appreciated. If anyone else has any ideas, send them in. It's nice that somebody joins in on the podcast.
Oh, can I just one question?
Yes.
You know, last week I nearly forgot. You haven't updated me. Last week after the quiz, I asked people that listened afterwards to send in their scores.
No,
did we get bucket loads of responses?
No, we didn't.
No, I don't know. I didn't check.
Did we get more than 5?
No, we've got 160 people watching this. There was 277 at one.
Right, and how many downloaded the podcast afterwards?
About 600.
Surely in 700 people, somebody listened to my request to play the game out.
It's just on auto subscribe. No one listens to it anymore.
Oh. I was going to swear then, but I won't. Absolute shambles. A lot of you.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy Oldham away. No, you can't have a ticket.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
Say, they got a penalty here with the fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! This is Vernon! Vernon scored! The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.